Don't care about that. Moderators. All right. Hello and welcome back to the foundation. You got David and David or
Tadpole and grasshopper.
Tadpole and Grasshopper? He's Tadpole.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I Grasshopper?
Because if you remember the Kung Fu movie TV series,
Oh yeah.
they
yeah.
called the young learner the trainee, they called him grasshopper.
Was it trainee Tadpole?
No, tadpole don't get trained.
There you go. He's already trained.
There is no tadpole.
Oh, okay.
There's only a grasshopper.
Okay. Well, we are talking about Jehovah Witnesses again.
Continue from last week.
Continuing from last week. Yep.
And how many hits or comments did you say you got?
Gosh, this is doing very, very well. We got like 230 views and 4 or 5 comments, I believe it is.
Yeah, that's what gets me. Is
might not be as many comments, but
we go through the 4 Gospels chronologically, and we don't get that many hits. What's wrong with you folks? Are you trying to learn about Jehovah Witnesses?
Mm.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's
all we do is research.
Yep.
So,
and
if we get any comments, let us know something that you know that we might not know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, David, you got some notes there.
Well, yeah, I did a little digging. Last week was talking about how they deny the Trinity, so therefore they're denying the deity of Christ.
Yep.
And I found a little thing I watched. It's talking about religions that worship God the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, they deny the divinity of Christ. He's not God, but merely a creation of Him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Jesus. He's identified with the Archangel Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So it leaves the statement, if Jesus is not God, how can we have the power? How can he have the power, Jesus, to forgive sins and offer salvation to humanity? Of course, you brought up John 1:1.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Acts 4:12, John 20:28, and Isaiah 9:6.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if he was merely an angel, his death would not have had the power to redeem humanity. The sacrifice on the cross was effective because it was God who gave himself up out of love for us. Only an infinite God could pay an infinite price for sin.
Mm.
And then I kind of did a little seeing what they had said about prophecy. You dug that up yet?
Not yet.
Well,
go ahead.
They claimed that Jesus would return invisibly
as a spirit creature.
Invisibly in 1874.
Yep.
Guess what?
It didn't happen.
And so they go on to say that the Battle of Armageddon would end in 1914. Guess what happened?
Nothing.
There was nothing there.
Nothing happened.
Okay. Then they go on and say Christendom would be utterly destroyed in 1918.
Nothing happened.
We're still here.
Yep.
Okay. It says the Old Testament saints would be physically resurrected in 1925. How do we know that? Did they see him get resurrected? Did anybody?
Nope.
And then lastly, the millennium would begin in, no, I don't, this ain't the last one. Yeah, I got to make that right or I'll pronounce it wrong. Okay, they claim that the millennium would begin in 1975. 1,000-year reign in 1975.
Well, we're still in it then.
Well, see, they claiming that those that would see the Battle of Armageddon would be that generation that would not pass away.
Yep.
Well, we've done past 100 years.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody living from 1914 or that generation, they'd be 111 years old this year.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Elon Musk finding these guys on Social Security. It's 150 years, 300 years old.
Yep. That's true.
There's a way around the system. Okay. And these prophecies are not by just one man.
No.
They're by the watchtower itself.
Yep.
So you've got a group or leaders that are all saying this.
Yep. So
the conclusion that it come up with is that the watchtower is a false prophet and should not be trusted with anything, including the truth about God, the nature of Christ, the translation of the Bible, and the future of your everlasting salvation.
That's true.
And right now I'm working on a video that tells you how to 3 questions you should ask a Jehovah Witness if they knock at your door. I'm right in the middle of the second one. So maybe when we get to the end of doing this thing on Jehovah's Witnesses, I can pop these 3 questions out there in case any of y'all want to see how to handle them.
Well, pop one out. You got me curious.
Well, the first one, it says, did Jesus return invisibly and appoint his faithful slave? Of course, they'll tell you yes, it was 1914.
Yep.
But places like Acts chapter 1, where Jesus is ascending into heaven, what did the angel say?
He will come back in like manner.
Well, they saw him go up, they're going to see him come back.
Yep.
So it couldn't have been invisible.
So you are falsely assuming that then, right?
I don't know how they got that.
Well,
I mean,
what it is they had to come up with something because obviously it didn't happen.
Well, if they missed the first one, they're going to try something again. They missed the second one, they keep trying it. But they'll tell you, yes, 1914, but they're going to have some idea or excuse or reason that they can come back. And that's when you shoot that scripture to them about they saw Jesus ascend up, and the angel told them that he'd come back in like manner.
Yep.
They saw him physically glow up. If he's going to come back in like manner, it's going to be physically coming back. So that debunks their
That's true, yeah.
Invisibility belief.
Yep.
So what you got?
Well, Charles Russell was an avid liar, David.
That's because he wasn't satisfied where he was at.
He lied about knowing Greek.
Did he lie on his taxes?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, there wasn't no income tax back then.
And
don't you wish we was back to that?
Yeah.
What you make's what you bring home.
Yeah. And
So are you saying, was his doctrine any different than what it is today?
he had his religion, the Russellites, and it kind of evolved from there.
Well, you know, Rutherford was his took over
successor. Yeah.
him. And of course, they did this watchtower thing. That's probably been one of their biggest.
Yep.
So Rutherford could come in and change some things from their original doctrine.
Yeah. You know, Charles, he didn't like the teaching of eternal punishment. So
yeah, we discussed
that last week.
Yeah.
So a little.
I kind of agreed with him on that one.
Yeah. This says, he was an exhaustical man. Pastor Russell made absurd claims about himself and his writings, and he allowed his followers to class him with such men as Saint Paul.
You mean they called him Saint Paul?
Yeah. He said that. Isn't that interesting? Oh, hold on just a second. Saint Paul, Wycliffe, and Luther. And he said that if people had to make a choice between reading his books and reading the scriptures, they would do better to read his own books. His wife successfully sued him for divorce in 1913 on the grounds of adultery.
Who sued who?
His wife.
Who did she sue?
Charles Russell.
He's still alive at that time?
Yeah, I guess.
He had to be an old man.
Yeah, because he died. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Whoa. Yeah, you're right. So it sued him for adultery, conceit, agnosticism, and domination.
She did that. That was on her form where she sued him for divorce. It was more than adultery then, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's crazy. And what gets me is his false claims on knowing Greek and Hebrew. The guy said, "Well, do you know Greek and Hebrew?" He said, "Yes, I know Greek and Hebrew." And he said, "Well, here's the Greek and Hebrew. Can you read that first sentence?" And he said, "Maybe I might get a few words wrong, but nobody's perfect." And then later on, he fessed up and said, I can't read it. I can't read this. He eventually fessed up to it. Now, this is his, well, it might be Rutherford's creation. The New World Translations of the Holy Scriptures, which is the Jehovah Witness Bible. And
which I stated earlier is not a trustworthy translation.
No. Well, David, how can you find out if a Bible translation is a trustworthy translation?
I know you so well.
I told you.
John 1:1.
John 1:1. I thought you were about to go on.
You go to look at a Bible. That's the first person you go to see if it's worth reading.
Yep. Now, off camera, we were talking about a woke Bible. You don't think it's a woke Bible? But I heard it's
a slang Bible.
A slang Bible. And I said, I cannot believe a Baptist preacher preached from this.
And what's the name of this Bible?
The woke Bible. No,
Well, you
it was
said-
Gen Z. Gen Z.
Yes.
And it's like, are you dumb in any other way in other areas of life to write this and
Well,
publish it and preach it?
but you can get that Bible on Amazon.
Yeah, I bet you can.
And
it's
the
New Testament.
And the thing about it is that you know, Christianity has always tried to come up with ways to draw people.
Yes.
They didn't use some kind of entertainment.
Right.
And the thing about reading the Bible like we do is that it bores them. It bores that Gen Z generation. It bores them. Now, by throwing slang in there for words, they seem to they want to make it think that they're grasping it and understanding it better. Well, it's like I mentioned to you, we had slangs back when in the '60s.
Yeah.
I guess you'd say our generation started the slang generations to come. Just like our generation started free love.
True.
And rock and roll music.
Yeah.
So blame us for the way the world is.
Now, to fully understand their version, which is the New World Translation, you got to go to the King James Version, because whenever they were researching this, in somewhere in Psalms has the Lord and I am Jehovah, or I am Jehovah, thus saith the Lord, or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it is in Psalms, and that's why they say, that's why in the New World Translation you got all of the Lords, they're replaced with Jehovah.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's the way that they did it.
Well, it's mostly the Old Testament, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to use the word Jesus. They ain't going to call him Jehovah.
Yep.
It's actually Yahweh.
Now, Charles had this idea of, he didn't like the idea of Jesus dying on a cross. So they changed it to torture stake. So
they,
whenever you read, pick up your cross and follow me, that verse says, pick up your torture stake and follow me. Well, hold on, wait, guys. They plant a tree to write this book. They cut down a tree to write this book, write that page.
So what did they do? What did they do with the tree on this one?
What tree?
All these are made out of a tree.
Oh well. These are these are known translations.
Going back to pick up your cross. What did you say? Pick up your cross and follow me.
Yeah.
I think I would use it would be a Gen Z word.
Oh no! Here we go.
It'd be something a little between then and now.
Yeah.
It's pick up your burdens and follow me.
Yeah.
That's what it's referring to. The cross is a burden.
Yeah.
So the stakes would be the same thing. But the thing is, the cross is a whole lot heavier than stakes.
Yeah.
Of course,
but the thing is,
it's not this cross. It's just the board that goes on the cross.
But the thing is, that is historically inaccurate.
What?
A torture stake.
No, they whipped them. When them.
Yeah.
They didn't torture them. I mean, you make it sound like they didn't kill them if they tortured them.
Oh no. No.
They'd have to lay there until they starved to death.
True.
you can't break their, or you'd have to kill them so you go prepare for the Sabbath.
Yeah, but crucifixion was one of the main ways of execution. Well, maybe not the main.
That's the Romans' perfection.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I say it's historically.
That's why the whip
inaccurate
they use is probably one of their perfections.
Yeah.
Bones and rocks and anything that can gash you with.
True.
So you get 40 lashes. That usually kills a man. And I think they stopped one short when they whipped Jesus. They had to get him on the cross.
Yep.
They wanted him on the cross.
Or torture stake in their ways. So the torture stake is historically inaccurate. If you don't believe me, look up all through. Oh, bless your hearts! I know you'll have to get away from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. How dare you? And it might scare you if it was that guy's birthday that day, and he got offended because you didn't wish him a happy birthday. You didn't know that?
Well,
they don't believe in
celebrating
birthdays, Easter, Christmas.
They think the Christmas tree is an idol.
Patrick's Day, yeah. Halloween. You Jehovah Witnesses have to live a boring life.
Well, they take all these things as like Halloween was a pagan day.
Yep. That's why I say
they don't. That's why they don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Easter's the same thing with like with a bunny and all that stuff. But which
I would agree. I would agree.
But that was it. But the thing is, that was incorporated into Easter. But actually, the week of the Passover was actually real. It wasn't a pagan thing.
Yep. Another interesting thing, you're historically wrong.
And I don't know how many countries celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Can't be that many.
Yeah. So you're historically wrong, but you're also scripturally wrong. So 144,000. In the biblical context, again, you have to go.
That's what I was looking for when I did research on prophecy, but I never.
Check this out.
Never got to that.
Well,
it got to predicting the end times.
Yep.
Not the 144,000.
Because the 144,000 has nothing to do with the end times and their belief system. So I watched a program the other day about, well, this was, I guess, back in December, because this is already March 3rd, but this guy, Christian, he got invited to a Jehovah Witness church, and he made a deal with them. I'll come to yours if you come to mine. So they came to his, and his, oh brother, I didn't expect this. So he went to theirs. So
his own brother?
Huh?
The guy's brother invited him to the Jehovah Witnesses church?
No, one of them,
or just a friend.
Evangelists.
Oh.
That knock on their doors, yeah.
That's not evangelism.
Oh well. To them it is. But
what's the good news you got?
Yeah. That you're probably not going to heaven. So that's your good news. But here's where that 144,000 comes from. So this guy went to their church and they took communion. So
who took communion?
The Jehovah Witnesses.
They did communion?
They took communion. And
I wonder how they went about doing that one.
Check this out. So he took the communion, he ate it and drank it, and later on he noticed no one ate it. Come to find out, the communion is just for decoration, like to say one day I'm going to make it to paradise on earth. And if you take communion, that means you're going to heaven. You're one of the 144,000.
So he got to be 144,000. Didn't
Yep,
know it.
yep. And everyone was staring at him and saying,
What
like,
are you doing?
Yeah. And
you're not going to go off and leave us behind. I'm going to eat mine too.
But that's the way they think. It's really, really interesting whenever you get down to it in their belief systems, because and they're also pretty dangerous too. They're a dangerous religion because they call it a society for a reason. It's kind of like a more efficient way than James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones. No, not Darth Vader. Who's that guy that drank the Kool-Aid?
Jim Jones.
Jim Jones. Well, so
I don't think he believed in Jesus anyway.
No,
because but one of the reasons they picked the church up and moved it to another country, he was getting caught in adultery in his own congregation.
Yeah, true.
He was charismatic.
Yep.
He must have been good looking too.
Yeah.
There is a movie on him.
I've seen pictures of him. I mean, you are better looking than he is.
Okay. Must be the Kool-Aid.
Must have been the Kool-Aid. Yep. But they can get away with anything. Like, they call it a society for a reason. There's been stories, and it's easy to find. Just look on YouTube. People have been sex trafficked, murdered, and their council protects them.
Well, I will make a statement on I think it was the millennial reign.
Yes, go ahead.
When it didn't happen, they lost over 1 million members on account of that.
Yep.
That's a lot of people. And
guys, it still didn't happen. So why is the Jehovah Witness Watchtower Bible and Tract Society still a thing?
It's the way some people want to believe.
Yep. It's kind of like, David,
they're convinced that this is right.
You might have heard this, David. It's brainwashing. I can brainwash you if you don't remember this. I know I've told you before. With a story. Yep. So.
Well, they're using Jesus' story, but in a different way.
Yeah. But here's how they can get you. So a guy lives in a house for 50 years. And he's cut his grass for 50 years, every Saturday during the summer, cut his grass, right? Now, on his 51st year of living in that house, he cut his grass for the first time.
Tell that story again.
A guy moved into a house 50 years ago. So he lived in the house for 50 years, right?
Yeah.
51 years, that 51st summer, he cut his grass for the first time.
Now, did he cut his grass the whole time he lived there in the 50 years?
The whole time. But that
51st year,
he cut his grass for the very first time.
Sound like he's dead.
No. Do you own your house?
Yeah.
So there you go. Wait, have you paid it off?
No.
So when you pay it off, when you cut your grass, you'll cut it for the first time after that.
Well, no.
Yes. Yep. Because that house is yours.
Well, the house is mine now.
It's not paid for.
No, but I'm not cutting my grass.
Oh, well, Okay, that's true.
I hire it done, so it won't be my first
Oh,
because I'm
okay.
not doing it.
Okay.
Now brainwash me.
Okay, here's another one. A man leaves home and he turns left, right? He runs a little ways and turns left. He runs a little ways and turns left. He runs a little ways and turns left. And he goes back home. When he gets there, there's two masked men waiting for him at home. So, questions. Why did he leave home running? And why are there two masked men waiting on
Why did he leave home running?
him?
I figured he joined jogging.
You see, he's already brainwashed because,
No,
but because your mind thinks that he just went off,
but he didn't
for a jog.
He didn't go far.
No.
He went around the block.
He went around the block. Yep.
And when he got there was two masked men.
Yep. Who are the masked men?
They were there at his house.
I'm glad you don't remember this.
But
now, David, I'm about to unbrainwash you.
Were they there when he left?
I'm about to unbrainwash you.
They must have been chasing him.
And you can feel it whenever you're being unbrainwashed. You ever play baseball? Softball? Yeah. He leaves home, turns left, turns left, turns left, turns left, and there's the umpire. The masked man.
I got you on that one. When he comes home, there ain't no two masked men.
Yeah.
No.
In baseball.
Guess what?
What?
If he hits that ball and he runs in bases, then masks come off.
Oh, well.
Umpire, he calls strike 3. He takes that mask off.
Yeah.
Waits for the next batter. Puts it back on.
Yeah.
Behind catcher, if the ball's hit.
David, you're thinking too hard about it. It's just a riddle.
Yeah, but you're using baseball as an example, and it's not a good one.
Well,
and the thing in softball, we don't wear face masks, catcher or the umpire.
Okay, baseball.
We don't even use any protective equipment in softball.
David, you're not making this look good for the people, for the Jehovah Witnesses that might be watching this.
The thing is, you're not brainwashing me.
I did, because you immediately went to leaving his house and going around the block and two robbers.
But you're calling home plate home.
That's it.
But the thing is, there's no masked men waiting on him. I told you, once he hits that ball, the mask come off. He knows exactly who he's seeing when he gets home. He's either going to be safe or out.
Well, David, we're going to take a short break and
reheat the coffee.
And we will be right back.
And you'll jump in on what's next.
Yes, sir.
You're going to try to brainwash me again.